Good morning. I hope that your Wednesday is off to a good start. Mine is so far. Second cup of coffee, and this is one of my favorite mugs, by the way. It's, of course, made by my favorite potter. And the little squiggle in there is the Hebrew script for the term shalom. And if there's one Hebrew word that is worthwhile to know, it's that one, shalom. In case you're wondering, shalom, the sort of the stock standard definition for that, translation for that, is peace, but it really implies more than peace. It's not just peace in terms of absence of hostility, but peace in terms of wholeness and completeness. I was thinking that today I'd go back and refer to a Bible translation. If you're watching back then, I guess it was back in 2021, I did a whole series of these on Bible translations. And there's one at the time that I did not talk about, and I guess it's because I wasn't aware of it. But before I talk about that, just as a background, there are scads of different Bible translations. I think that I've got 12 different translations on my shelf, rather not on my shelf anymore. They're in boxes now. I've got, I think, 12 different translations in print. And in case you're wondering, my default translation is the ESV. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's my default. It's the one I'm comfortable with. And there are lots of other good ones. Occasionally I will, for reading, I'll read from the Tanakh, that's the Jewish Publication Society, and that's like the Jewish translation of their scriptures. Pardon me while the truck goes by. And of course, the Jewish scriptures are the same as our Old Testament. I do occasionally read from that just as a change of pace. And like I said, there's no one right translation. Like, there's no one that is right and everyone else is wrong. I can think of a couple that are semi-heretical or outright heretical, but I'm not going to chase that rabbit. I've already done that before. What I wanted to refer to today is one that actually I do not have in print, but I do refer to it occasionally. It's called the Net Bible. Net, New English Translation. You can find these printed and bound, but they're also free online. There's a Net Bible app. So the Net Bible, if you're just thinking of the translation, it is sort of, I guess it's sort of like the NIV, that same basic translation philosophy. It's not so much word, it's not trying to keep it literal. And there is, by the way, no such thing as word for word. You simply can't do word for word from one language to another. The Net Bible's not particularly literal, so it's like the NIV in that regard. And when I read passages from it, it's not my favorite. I probably like the NIV a little more, simply as something to read. But here's where the Net Bible is just superb. If you use the online, just go on your computer in netbible, .org, and there's a Net Bible app, which is free. You can get it on your phone. Where the Net Bible is just superb is the notes. You can, Net Bible, or get the app on your phone. And for the footnotes for the Net Bible, when you go online, are exceptional. And so if you're going to whatever your verse is, or whatever your chapter is, say Romans chapter 3, and you're reading through Romans chapter 3 on the Net Bible online, and wherever there's a footnote, you click on that footnote, and it opens up in a different, it opens up a footnote. And the footnotes are really long. The footnotes are long and they're detailed. And what makes them excellent is they delve into the weeds of why they translated a verse or a word the way they did. It's not saying that the translation choice is right, but for our purposes, I just picked, say Romans chapter 3. You're reading through that, you see a footnote, click the footnote, and you may see 3 paragraphs about why they translated a word the way they did. So in Romans chapter 3, one of the Greek words that gives translators all sorts of headaches is the word hilasterion. So do you translate that propitiation, expiation, mercy seat of atonement? How do we translate that? If you're reading through Romans chapter 3 and you click through the footnotes, and you'll see in some cases, like I said, paragraphs about why you pick one way of translating it as opposed to another. The footnotes really refer a lot to the manuscript evidence, the manuscript resources. We use this reading following this set of manuscripts which say this. And the Net Bible is superb as a reference. I mean, if you want to read it, there's nothing wrong with reading it. It's not my favorite in terms of just reading the Bible as a train. But I highly recommend it as a reference tool. If you're doing a Sunday school lesson or preaching and wonder about why this verse is translated this way, then that Bible is great for that. One thing I want to mention about the Net Bible, if you get the app, we are used to when you're reading something on our phones, the scrolling. You got your page and you scroll like that. The Net Bible, the app works differently. With the app on your phone, you almost like turn the pages side to side rather than scrolling up and down. That's just something to be aware of if you get the app. But again, the Net Bible, it reads similar to the NIV, similar translation philosophy. Nothing wrong with the translation. It's not my favorite. But the notes that are available for that online or on the app are just exceptionally good and very, very helpful. In terms of what Bible you should read, here is the Bible that is the best. That one, you can see it's beat up. The Bible that is best is the one that's beat up. The cover is worn. The binding is maybe starting to come off. You got pages that are dog-eared in it. If you take notes in your Bible, it's the Bible that has the most scribbles and highlights. That is the best Bible because it is one that is well used. People can get into different camps about which translation they like. some people are adamant that the King James is the only one that's valid. I don't buy it. Or I'm ESV, or I'm NRSV, or I'm NIV, and we've got the whole alphabet soup. The most valuable Bible is the one that you're reading. The one that you read and read and read, that has your footnotes in it, that where you scribble in the margins, the one that has a lot of pages that are dog-eared. Like this one, the one where the cover is coming apart. That's the best Bible. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day.